Focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of February 27, Thursday. I'm Riza Diaz. Opening today's rush with the rising number of COVID-19 cases in South Korea, prompting Filipino authorities to issue a partial travel ban. For President Duterte, a full-blown travel moratorium on the East Asian country is necessary. Maricel Halili has a report.
More than 1,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 were monitored in South Korea. 169 new cases were recorded Wednesday, 134 of which came from Daegu City in North Gyeongsang Province, believed to be the center of the outbreak in the peninsula. And it all reportedly started in a Daegu church. Authorities went to the church Tuesday for an emergency epidemiological investigation. About 200,000 of its members will undergo investigation. This prompted the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Disease of the Philippines to impose a travel ban on travelers coming from North Gyeongsang. For now, President Rodrigo Duterte deems it unnecessary to expand the travel ban to other parts of South Korea.
There cannot be a total travel ban. You are going to lock down the entire Philippines for that. It ain't that way. And for those who are healthy, they should come in.
Filipinos planning to visit South Korea may need to unpack their suitcases for now.
Walang Pilipino ang ta-travel to the entire South Korea.
But OFWs and permanent residents of South Korea will be allowed to go to the country on one condition.
They are to execute and sign a declaration signifying their knowledge and understanding of the risks involved prior to their travel.
Palace spokesman Salvador Panelo is resigned to the fact that the partial ban will take its toll on the country's tourism, especially since South Korea is a top tourist market.
It will be affected, but as we always say, we have to secure the safety of those coming here and leaving this country to Korea.
The Tourism Department says around 1.9 million Koreans visited the Philippines in 2019. For now, a thorough disinfection in different parts of South Korea is in place to prevent the spread of COVID-19. For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
Meanwhile, President Duterte is leaving it to proper authorities whether or not to lift the travel ban on Hong Kong and Macau. Duterte says health officials are the best persons to speak on the matter. COVID-19 cases in Hong Kong are now at 89, while there are 10 confirmed ones in Macau as of the latest tally.
I will leave it to the DOH and the guys who are in charge, whether it would be safe or not to do it. I am not a medical person. I'm a lawyer.
Now, as for the African swine fever threat, Duterte says the Agriculture Department has already come up with protocols on the transfer of hogs and pork products. Duterte says that the new guidelines will address unnecessary restrictions in the transport of goods that's seen to hamper the supply.
Pag lumabas yan in those who are declared freed of the swine flu, matatakan talaga so that they can travel. Kasi yung iba ayaw pa ipadaan eh. So kung may tatak na, yung wala at mayroon pa yung swine fever, di wag na muna.
Meanwhile, Duterte is letting Congress run its investigation and inquiry first regarding the so-called pastillas scheme involving the Bureau of Immigration. But he is ready to fire more officials. Duterte says more heads will roll following the controversial bribery modus. In fact, the president says he even asked the Civil Service Commission to submit a list of top-notchers that can possibly be tapped to replace the sacked officials.
I am insisting on the ouster of all who are elected. I think we have terminated, but there will be more. I will replace almost all of them. soon as possible.
The chief executive also defended his move to terminate the visiting forces agreement between the Philippines and the United States. Duterte claimed that before scrapping the VFA, he first consulted the armed forces if our country can do without the military aid of America.
Kailangan ba natin ng Amerika the might and power of the military of the United States to fight our rebellion here and the terrorists down south, uncontrolled drugs? Kasi pag hindi natin kaya, we have no business being a republic. You might as well choose. We can be a territory of the Americans or we can be a province of China. Kung hindi natin kaya,
Bagabiga to our Ilocano friends. Good morning. You're still watching Rush. Moving on to other headlines, President Duterte has accepted the apology of a media giant ABS-CBN for supposedly not airing his 2016 election ads. But even the president himself believes this will have no bearing on the fate of the network's franchise. Here's the story.
At the Senate hearing this week, network CEO Carlo Katigbak himself sought President Duterte's forgiveness for not airing his presidential campaign ads in 2016. And on Wednesday evening, President Rodrigo said he already accepted the network's apology over the issue.
I accept the apology.
But the chief executive refused to receive the 2.6 million pesos campaign funds that a media giant is offering to refund.
Ibigay na lang nila sa any charitable institution of the church.
Despite accepting the network's apology, Duterte maintained that he will not meddle with ABS-CBN's franchise renewal, which is still pending before Congress.
The critical move is in the House. And I tell you, I am not going to interfere. Wala talaga. Kung maniwala kayo po kayo, hindi. But those who know me, ano rin?
He has also distanced himself from the Solicitor General's quo warranto petition against the network, saying his relationship with Soljan Calida is not the same with the Department of Justice. Duterte also assured that he has never talked to anyone in Congress about the issue.
wala akong kinausap. Magtanong kayo, there are about 200 of them. And you can ask anybody. And if there is a congressman who would say, if it is true, I will resign. I never really called anybody about this. Even before, wala akong kinausap na tao.
But when asked if he will sign ABS-CBN's franchise renewal should it pass Congress, this is what he had to say.
I will cross the bridge when I am there. Maybe I will call the media to help me out. It would be a difficult decision, really. So I will.
Okay, thank you.
I'll cross the bridge when I'm there.
Before the event, presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo had already said that ABS-CBN's apology to the president will not have any bearing on the network's pending cases. Panelo explained that the president's feelings has nothing to do with the quo warranto petition against the media giant.
The franchise renewal of ABS-CBN has been there, filed in 2014, prior to the assumption of this president. So there is no way by which anybody can be blaming this president for the inaction of Congress, whether the previous Congress or the present Congress. The grant and renewal lies mainly and exclusively with Congress.
Lawmakers from both chambers have filed resolutions seeking to extend ABS-CBN's operations beyond May 4th, while they deliberate on the network's franchise renewal application. Leah Fernandez has the report.
After filing a joint resolution seeking to extend ABS-CBN's franchise over a week ago, Senator Franklin Drilon filed a separate concurrent resolution on Wednesday. It urges the National Telecommunications Commission, or NTC, to issue a provisional authority to the network for it to operate beyond May 4, while Congress deliberates on its franchise renewal. A concurrent resolution does not have the force and effect of a joint resolution, but is much easier to pass. It only needs the nod of both chambers, while a joint resolution needs to go through a committee hearing, 3 Senate hearings, and the signature of the President.
The interpretation of the Constitution is not the exclusive monopoly of the Supreme Court.
Senator Grace Poe has the same view.
Ang tawag dito ay congressional fiat. Ibig sabihin, it's not necessarily a bill, but it's by authority from Congress, which actually is the intent of a franchise, that the authority to grant a franchise emanates from Congress.
But Senate President Tito Soto thinks otherwise.
Kasi nga, merong Supreme Court decision pala tungkol dyan. And as I said, pag sinabi ng Supreme Court, it's part of the law of the land already.
Senator Bongo, a close ally of the President, doubts the intent of the concurrent resolution.
Nahaluan kasi yun ng politika. Bakit po natin i-deprive sa Presidente yung power to approve or to veto a franchise kung lampas na po ng kanyang termino, kung sakasakaling aprubahan man po ito?
Drilon denies the accusation.
That is, the right to veto or approve is in the joint resolution that we filed, which has the force and effect of law.
At the lower house, Representative Rufus Rodriguez has also filed a joint resolution extending the network's operation.
I'm going to file it now, this afternoon. And then Monday hearing, a marathon hearing only on the temporary extension for 1 year. It will not take so much time.
Earlier, the House Committee on Legislative Franchises had asked stakeholders to submit their position papers for a more systematic discussion on the issue. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, We Are One News.
And here are the biggest stories from the dailies. Filipino Star Ngayon reports Filipino Star Ngayon cites a source alleging a coup d'etat is brewing over at the lower house. According to this source, several lawmakers are using the issues of national budget and ABS-CBN's franchise renewal to remove Taguig Representative Alan Peter Cayetano from the speakership. The goal, allow Marinduque Congressman Lord Alan Velasco to assume the post as soon as possible. The Freeman reports that some 259 houses were razed when a massive fire hit Sitio Santo Niño in Barangay Suba, Cebu City last night. The fire lasted for more than 2 hours, and while authorities said no one was hurt, around 600 families lost their house in the blaze. Investigators say the fire may have been caused by a faulty electrical wiring. And this from Business World. The continued spread of COVID-19 coupled with the Chinese government's crackdown on POGOs may dampen office space demand in the country this year. Property consultancy firm JLL Philippines explained that these issues may cause reluctance to accommodate the new POGO tenants. Despite the challenges, Colliers Philippines is still hopeful that IT, BPM, and traditional firms will make up for the expected slowdown. The government is considering extending Dito Telecommunities' deadline. That's after the construction of its cell site hit a roadblock due to the 2019 coronavirus. Dale De Vera has the report.
With only 4 months left before the audit in July, Dito Telecommunities is barely halfway through its commitment of putting up 1,600 cell sites in the country. As of Wednesday, the third telco player said it has built nearly 700 cell sites. The Department of Information and Communications Technology warned that their permit to operate may be revoked if the Dennis Uy-led firm fails to deliver.
Kapag hindi nila tinupad ito, yung Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity, yung kailangan talaga, no? Yung serbisyo at yung radio frequencies babawiin ng gobyerno.
But the company explained that the project was affected by the 2019 coronavirus in China. Dito said the steel used for the construction is manufactured in Hubei province, the epicenter of the disease outbreak. Despite the setback, the telco company is confident that it will be able to hold a technical launch in July.
We're taking all remedial measures that we can so that we will not let this impact and delay our rollout. While there may be a basis for us to say this can be deemed a force majeure, the policy we've taken is we will find ways to mitigate all the effects of this situation so that our rollout will not be delayed.
But the DICT secretary said the deadline could still be extended, seeing as the company fell victim to the COVID-19 outbreak. Aside from the cell sites, Dito still needs to deliver an internet speed of 27 megabits per second by July. Failure to do so will mean that its 25.7 billion peso performance bond may be forfeited. Dito Telecommunity was given license to operate last year and is expected to have paying customers by March 2021 for its commercial rollout. For News 5, Dale De Vera, we're One News.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.